I'm Matt Cremona. We're just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, United States, Earth. And I make videos about woodworking. So when I was in college, I was dating my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and she had wanted something from IKEA. And at that point in my life, I had never made anything before. I hadn't really done anything like that. So I was thinking to myself, well, I could probably make this thing that she wants. I could probably make it a lot better than I could buy in the store, because what I saw in the store I could tell it wasn't gonna last very long. So I built this thing. It was just a stand to hold baskets. And from there, I just started getting more and more into it. And I guess I must have an obsessive personality, because it became more and more of a thing that I just had to do, and I just became enveloped in my life. So I spent a lot of time in the shop practicing, building projects for a couple of years. That's pretty much all I did on any of my free time, was out in the shop, just building stuff. I worked at a software startup doing mostly software design and some business management, things like that. And I got laid off a few years ago, and instead of going back into the workforce and finding a new job, I realized that this was probably my best time to actually make a jump into doing something that I really loved. And I know people have done it before, so it kind of gave me a little bit of a confidence boost that it's possible to actually make a living producing content online. So I talked to my wife, and with her support, I was more than anything with her support to actually make it happen. Yeah, it was a pretty brave decision and pretty drastic. When I got laid off, it was like a month after we found that we were having our first child too. So from that standpoint, it was even more of a, is this really a good idea? But I believe in myself, and my wife believed in what I could do. It's been fun as things have progressed and as things have come along, and different opportunities have presented themselves. And as a business owner, you can take pride in knowing that, like, every month you can see like it's going somewhere and you're getting there, and knowing that it was your work and your work alone that got that business to where it is it's like the biggest moment of satisfaction in your life, because you're not out there working for someone else trying to further someone else's life goals. You're out there doing it for yourself, and that makes it really, really enjoyable. If we go back to this whole idea of taking a leap and doing what you love, when I lost my job and I was thinking, like, what did I want to do? I knew I liked to woodwork, and I knew that would be something I would enjoy to do. But what I knew that I wouldn't enjoy about it was, if I was doing commission work, I wouldn't want to make stuff for other people and be told what to make. My goal, or my dream, would have been to be able to make whatever I want to make and have that be my livelihood. So I figured, well, the best way to do that is to be able to make what I want to make and then share with the world, and do that through the videos. I think woodworking is pretty accessible. It doesn't take a whole lot to get started in it. Wood is pretty prolific. You can get it pretty much anywhere, and it's relatively cheap, and it's easy to work with. So I think a lot of people get into making things, and they think wood first because it's pretty easy to work with. And it is at the beginning level, but as you kind of get more and more down that rabbit hole, you can see that it can pose its own challenges as well, which makes it a really fun medium. A few years after I started woodworking, I realized that not only could I save money, but it could be more interesting for me to extend that hobby into, like, going back to the actual source of the trees and the wood and everything. So I started buying wet lumber from a mill, drying it myself. Found that to be pretty easy, so I figured I could try even further. So I started going to the woods and getting trees and having them come up with the lumber. And then I started actually cutting lumber myself. And to where the point we're at right now is I'm building a sawmill in my backyard to cut the lumber right here in my backyard, because previously I had just been using a chainsaw mill, which is a great way to get started with it, but it's pretty slow. Overall, like, ever since I started the channel, I started that when I was still working my day job. And the idea that I had behind my channel was to be able to connect myself with other woodworkers, because in real life here, I don't have anyone to talk to about woodworking, or at least no one that really cares to the extent that I do. But online and with my videos, it allows me to connect to people that actually have the same interests as I do. And I try to be really friendly and open about that. So just leave me a comment and let's have a discussion. Let's see where things go. We've all always, as people, have been wanting to make things and grow our civilizations, I guess. Ever since we started making tools out in the woods to catch prey or whatever, we're tool species. So we're always looking to make things. And even for me, like with my sawmill project, that was not something that I ever thought I'd be able to make. I've looked at that for a long time, and then I finally realized that there really isn't a whole lot to that thing once you break it down to its individual steps. And having the information on the internet, it's there, you can see that, oh, it's just a collection of really simple tasks that all string together to make something that seems like it's complex. And just being able to know that makes it a really powerful thing, and it's really empowering to be able to say that I actually made that, because for a while it seems like we kind of got away from the whole being able to make things, but I think it's really coming back just because the information's there again.